Hello and welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks, as I said. Got married, went on honeymoon. So now it's Wednesday, 11th of October, and I'm back to work. Wedding went magically. It was perfect. Everyone seemed to love it. The band was great. So yeah, fantastic. And then we had a week away in Weymouth. Made even better by the fact we were across the bay from a helicopter point, and we had army helicopters landing, which was fantastic as well. So anyway, back to the workshop. I'm in the barn today. I'm going to start going through all the spares that the chap with the green Defender brought with him, so I can itemise them and give him some kind of list of what's there. I did come in on Monday for a couple of hours just to take that Discovery body to the scrapyard. So that was filled with old props and trailing arms and radius arms, and you know, I've got hundreds of them, so I kept a couple of each and binned the rest. So yeah, we weighed that in. So today is the first day back full time. We're going to make a start on here. I've got the Smart in for MOT at lunchtime, and then I need to get the chassis from that Discovery stripped down and on the trailer and out the way. We've also got the now Wifes 322 in. That failed its MOT while we're away. We've got a multitude of bushes to do, but that probably won't be today. It might be this week, but otherwise we'll get to it at some point. So I'm going to start itemising all these bits. Right, we have removed the transfer box and the gearbox separately. So basically undone all the transfer box and lifted it off, then the gearbox and lifted it off. Now it's the turn of the engine. I can't undo the power steering pipe at the minute. It's just turning and not actually undoing where the connection spins on the actual pipe. It's not spinning, so I need to try and free that up before I can undo that, or I've just got to cut the pipe. And then we're pretty much ready to lift this off. The exhaust is all undone. And then once this is off out the way, we can look at the fuel system, because I need to take that off and keep hold of that as well. So let's get on with that. And there she is, out as a complete unit. So I'm gonna get a pallet and stick that on now, and then that can go on the shelf until we're ready to play with it. I forgot to show loading it, but there you go, the chassis is on the trailer, ready now to go to scrap. Right, I've got the MGF on the lift. It was advised for rear bushes, and as you can see, let's just get that in there. There's a bit of play there, and the other side, yeah, there's a bit of play there. So thankfully on the shelf we have a set of PolyBushes, black series, so they'll be nice and tough. So let's get these swapped out. Right, so let's change these. 18mm nut undo there, and then up here you've got a 13mm nut that goes through that. You can then drop the arm, give it a twist and pull it out this way, and then you can just change the bushes. We have now done this side. You can see power flex there, all back in, so we shouldn't have any play now. Right, I've had to take a different route on this side. I cannot get that nut undone that holds the tie bar in. It started to round. So I've had the wheel off. I've undone the bolt that holds the arm to the hub. Now I'm going through the subframe like that to a bolt in here that holds the rest of the arm, and then that whole arm can come off and I can change the bush that way. There we go, power flex bushes are in, and we have zero play. Right, so now the bushes are done. The next job I need to sort, maybe not today because I suppose I've got one on the shelf, is this flexi pipe. It was advised on the MOT as seeping. As you can see, it looks a bit rough. Obviously, when I fitted the subframe back in many moons ago, I put the pipe that side instead of, you know, instead of through here like the rest of the bits. I should have gone this side, and you can see it's all shaped funny, and it's obviously pulled the ferrule bit. So I'm going to go and see if I've got one in stock, but I very much doubt it, so I'll have to order one. So it'll probably come off the ramp now until I get that ordered, but let's go and have a quick look just in case. Well, it's back outside. I thought I found a hose, a Land Rover braided brake hose, but that was M10, and the
the one on the car is M12, so I'm going to have to order one. So it's out there for now. I've got the landlord's Freelander coming in for an oil change, so that is what's going to be next. Right, well the Freelander's done. Quick oil change, and the landlord come up and had to just weld a new bracket on his exhaust that had snapped. That's what the knocking was. So now I'm on to this. Some, I won't say fans, but some long-term viewers might recognise this one. I sold it quite a while ago now. Had it back a couple of times with some problems, and it's been perfect ever since. Well, he says he's got a blow from the exhaust. And just asked if I can have a look and put it through an MOT, because he's got someone who wants to buy it, and if someone buys this, he's probably going to buy my blue one. So it's definitely in my interest to get this going. I have had a look. Well, I drove it here and it sounded a lot like induction noise to me, and when I had a look, the airbox lid wasn't clipped down, or it was clipped on one of the clips but not actually hooked in, so it was pretty much open. So that would be a lot of the noise, but I am just going to whip the exhaust off, because it's not very difficult. Just give it a good old clean up, check there's no holes in it, and put it back on. So let's get it up in the air. Right, so the box is off, but we have one problem with that, but we have found the other problem. One stud snapped, so we've got to try and get that out. And this little link pipe, you can see why it was blowing. So I don't know if we're going to have much luck getting that done up either. Oh joy. Right, let's see what we can do. Right, we got this off and we managed to get the stud undone by cramping what was left in the vise. So let's see if we can get replacements. Right, so it's now Monday. I couldn't get the bits for the Smarts the same day, so I've had to order them. So we've now got 2 new gaskets and 4 new bolts. So let's get it fitted. Right, well, the exhaust is done. It's gone through the MOT, passed emissions, all good. It was chuffing slightly out, so I took it back off, put some exhaust sealer on it, and it seems to be okay now. The problem is, with it on them springs, it's able to flex and move about. So technically, really, it is able just to open the gap a bit, but hopefully with it all sealed and sat, it should be just flexing on the springs and not actually making a gap anymore. So that's done. Now I've got mine on the ramp, because obviously it is for sale, but I'm just having a quick check because the belt is a failure point on these, because obviously it runs the starter, because the alternator is actually the starter motor, so it uses that to start it. But this belt looks very good, still got all the numbers on it, so it doesn't really need changing. You can see it nice and clear, it looks like it's fairly new. And we've got the aircon belt on there as well, so that's obviously nothing seized up there, so that's good. So I'm just going to check the fluids and then drop it back down and move on to the next job. Right, well the Smart's back out, and now the wife's Range Rover is on the lift. I've got all the wheels off, and it's now a matter of going round and fitting all those parts. I've got 300 quid's worth of bushes there. First off is going to be the front arms after I've had a cup of tea. So first one is the near side front rear suspension arm. So obviously got to undo that bolt and undo that ball joint. So I'm going to do that now. Right, this side arm is on the off side, and then near side rear arm is on, and it was the other side. And the middle arm is on as well, look. Right, so now let's move on to the back. Right, because obviously I'm working on the hub, so I've got to take the hub off to change these bushes on top and bottom. I need to get the pressure out the bags. So the way to do that is, in the offside rear wheel arch is the valve block that joins the corners together. So this, I need to undo them all, because obviously I'm doing both rears. But if you undo one from each side, it will lower the pressure out of each opposite corner. So if I undo this side now, it will release the pressure in this one, which is the driver's rear and the passenger front. But obviously I'm doing both rears, so I've got to undo one of each. As you can see, I've done the passenger one already. So now I need to undo the yellow ones to release the pressure from the driver's one. I can't stress how much I'm hating this car right now. That track arm wouldn't come off, so I've had to cut that. So I've had to order one. The bolt that holds it in up there is seized to the bush, so that won't come out. So I've got to try and cut that out somehow. And then obviously cut this off the hub. The drive shaft won't come out the middle, so I'm now trying to get that off with this puller. Yeah, the handbrake cable got seized in and the clamp that holds it on has snapped. So I don't know how that's going to go. I might have to replace the handbrake cable. Yes, I hate this car right now. Right, well the hub's off. I couldn't get the drive shaft out, so I've had to undo it from the diff. So that's out, ready to go and get the bushes done. This one that cut off, what a nightmare. It's a camber bolt, and I couldn't get in there, so I cut the actual arm off, as you can see, in 2 places. So hopefully now I can actually get in there and get something cut to get that out of the way. So I've got to order some new camber bolts now as well. Right, well, we've got all this side back on, albeit with a temporary bolt through there just for now, so I can get it on its wheels. The replacement camber bolt I had to buy second hand, and it was 17 quid because Land Rover don't do them. So I'm waiting for that to arrive. So I'm starting on the other side. I've got this undone, and I'm going to try and do this one in situ, so I haven't got to take it all off. So let's have a go. Right, so I've got the tool in place, so now it's just a matter of tightening them up and pushing it out. Wish me luck. And there we go. It's out, I think. Oh. Yeah. There we go, out. So now it's time to use the other one to push. I've got another bit here somewhere there, slightly smaller one, to push the bush back in. So let's get this cleaned up and get the new one in. So it was all going so well. The old one come out. I went to put the other one back in, and there was a problem. I'll insert a picture here. As you can see, it's got the wrong size hole in the middle. Right part number on the box. The other one went in fine, but this one obviously hasn't. So they can't get me one till tomorrow. So it's going to have to sit here and wait. Joy. Right, so I got this. I sold this months ago to my brother-in-law. No, years ago to my brother-in-law. It's obviously come back for an MOT, as you saw. Failed on a wheel bearing. And advised on a brake pipe, so we're going to get both of those done once the Range Rover's done. And our special delivery, my custom Maer chassis. So it has TD5 bolt-on mounts. So obviously in the future, if I ever decide to change the engine again, I can just literally unbolt and bolt new ones on, so I haven't got to attack the galve. We have the cross member, we have Discovery 2 spring cups, so I can put air all round. So you know what next week's job's going to be, don't you? Right, so I've not done that overly tight because that is the camber bolt, so that's got to be adjusted when it goes in for the tracking. I've just got to put the caliper back on, and I'm still waiting for the replacement camber bolt for the other side, but at least I can get it off the ramp today, move on to the next thing, and then come back to this when the camber bolt arrives. I can probably just jack it up in all fairness to get to the camber bolt, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get this caliper back on, get the wheels back on, get it out of the way. Right, well, I've left the temporary bolt in because the camber bolt hasn't arrived yet, just to get it off the ramp and get it outside. And as you can see, the suspension's all the way up and it goes down and up. I've just cycled it. But her steering wheel is bloody disgusting, so I'm going to try and get some cleaner on that now. I think it's a mixture of makeup and just old steering wheel, but it's pretty rank. So I'm going to try and give that a clean while the battery's charging up, because I had to jump start it. So I'm going to do that, and then I've got to get the Mini in, my brother's Mini, the newer straight Mini, and change the wheel bearing. Right, well, yesterday was a bit of a fail. It went well, started getting better and better, and then the car ran out of fuel. So it's now got some back in, it starts and fires up fine, but it does need a tune. Probably going to get the carb rebuilt, to be fair, because adjusting the mixture weren't doing as much as it should do. So we'll get the carb fixed up, and then we'll have another go. Tom, meanwhile, is adjusting parts on the turbo. Nice crack. Right, well, that's the Mini wheel bearing and hub back on. It's now Saturday afternoon, so Monday I'm going to do the brake pipe. So I'm going to end this one here. So thank you all for watching. Good to be back. Like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you next week in the next one. Cheers, guys.